Random thought. Do we really need to see reporters out in the elements to know how dangerous it is? There's a sports reporter, right? Mark Woodley, KWWL in Iowa. And because there's record lows, you know what we've got to do. Do you really need to see these reporters out in the elements to know how dangerous it is? And he really summed it up in his, I don't want to call it a rant, but you know what? It really was.
Mark, how you feeling out there?
Again, the same way I felt about 8 minutes ago when you asked me that same question, right? I normally do sports. Everything is canceled here for the next couple of days. So what better time to ask the sports guy to come in about 5 hours normally earlier than he would normally wake up, go stand out in the wind and the snow and the cold and tell other people not to do the same. I didn't even realize that there was a 3:30 also in the morning until today. It's absolutely fantastic, Ryan. You know, I'm used to these evening shows that are only 30 minutes long, and generally on those shows I'm inside. So this is a really long show. Tune in for the next couple hours to watch me progressively get crankier and crankier.
I didn't think he could even get cranky than that, but he really did.
All right. So first of all, Mark, stop your whining. A, you're not standing out there in the elements the whole time. After they get done filming, you hop into the van, you sip your hot chocolate with the heater on, you warm up, and you wait till they get ready to call you again. Then you go back out there into the elements like you've been standing there the whole time. Stop it. You could have said no. They asked you to do it.
No,
you could have said no. You could have said no.
No.
I didn't say, he could say no. Now, he would have to deal with the consequences of saying no, but he could easily have said no.
The reason why he couldn't say no is it's in the contract. And anybody who works in media, whether it's radio, it's TV, I'm sure it was the same in print when they had newspapers. But even right now, in this space, there's a part where it says, here are your duties. And other duties as assigned is the next line that you need to make sure you understand what that means. And because they never specify what those other duties are, because at any given time, they like to add to those duties. It's like when if you go work at the grocery store, other duties as assigned. Yes, you may be a stocker, but if the place is packed, like it is at any Walmart at any given time when there are only 2 registers open and they really need a third one open and you know how to work a register, guess what? Other duties have now kicked in and you got to go do that. If all the grocery carts are outside, other duties kick in and you got to go out there and do it. Same thing here. There are no sports. So what do you think? You're going to get paid to do nothing? And he just kind of said his show before is really 30-minute show. It's nothing. So you're not even working a 40-hour week. Let's be real. Okay?
Right.
So stop this thing. And he couldn't say no because now you have no sports. You got to take part in this. However, if it was on the radio, I get it. I don't need to hear the wind. We've got sound effects CDs for that. But it's not the radio. This is TV.
Still,
the visual.
He's not out there the whole time. That's just it. That's my point. He's not out there the whole time. For that 30-second, 45-second segment, before that, he's inside, chilling in the van, in the heater, with the heat on, sipping some hot chocolate. And it's like, damn, what's telling me? All right, I got 2 minutes. And then you get back out there and you stand and you deliver.
Yeah.
But freaking, as we say here in Texas, cowboy up and handle that shit.
Stop it, because y'all did not cowboy up when you got a little bit of cold. It dropped below 75 degrees and y'all didn't know how to act. I mean, even your senator decided, we're going to Cancun.
It's because our power grid was out and people were 3 days without water and electricity. That's a little bit different. Now, I manned up and I was fine. I even recorded the podcast in the dark with no heat. But I also don't have little mouths to feed and children in a family. So I could easily man up or cowboy up, as I say, and deal with that. Other people couldn't. So don't talk about Texas like that.
I'm just saying. I mean, you giving Mark a hard time. All I'm saying for Mark is...
I'm giving Mark a hard time being a whiner.
But here's what Mark did. What he did, and I know Robin is saying that we're giving Mark a hard time, but here's where I give Mark credit. Because nobody outside of whatever town that was, and see, I didn't even research to see what town it was in Iowa, right? What city? I'm just gonna say town. It's Iowa. I'm gonna say town. There's 0% chance I'm going to Iowa. Watch me end up there next week. But nobody was thinking of KWWL ever. Everybody was talking about this on social media. Shade Room picked it. All the vlogs picked it up. Other news stations picked it up because this guy made it entertaining. Because he had that same feel like, why am I out here when you're telling me to tell people not to come out? I'm with him. I don't need to be out here. I could do it from this. Look, we got cameras that show the outside. Show the camera. Show the snow accumulating. Let's do a time lapse of that. We can do all of this. And I can stand inside. I'll come in 3:30 in the morning, which he's not a partier because he doesn't know what 3:30 in the morning looks like. He can still come in and do it from inside the studio safely.
You're right. I apologize. I should go on WholeFoods.com and order him some goat cheese to go with that wine of his and be like, hey, my bad for messing with you, Mark. Here's some cheese. Now, cowboy up and shut up. Shut up and dribble.
Shut up and report.
Yeah, shut up and report.